Hey, Terry here. Welcome to another video, episode 14, season 2. Today I'm doing kind of a quick follow-up on episode 13, the last video that I just did, where I fired my 1738 British heavy land service pistol, the heavy Dragoon, against a meat target. Well, I got to looking during the editing, and when I was showing you how to load it, I'm doing this. And we're going to pour some powder down the barrel. Yeah, so I thought I'd just go through that loading procedure one more time up here where you could see me. But before I do that, there is a couple of things about this that I wanted to point out that slipped my mind last time. First of all, one of the things that I like about this is, if you'll notice, there are none of those annoying little stampings on this thing that say caution, black powder only, 62 caliber, made in India, none of that kind of crap. This makes it really cool for reenacting, collection, or if you just want something that's historically accurate to shoot. In fact, there are really only 3 markings on this. Let me see if I can get it up here where you can see it. Now you notice here, there's an E, D, G, E, edge. But each one of these letters have been individually hand stamped. Can you see that a little better there? And I think that represents the location, town, factory, where it was made. And then below that, it's stamped 1730. But if you notice, it's not 1730 and it's not 1730. It's 17 and a 30, also hand stamped. And the only other marking on it is this crown, indicating that this weapon is property of the British Crown, meaning the British military. And that's it. That's all the markings that are on this. There is this blank plate here on the butt where I could have it engraved if I wanted to. I could have like my initials, rank, the regiment that I served in, maybe engraved in this if I wanted to. And that's all. So it's a really cool little gun. Like I said before, you can get it from Veteran Arms. Little mom and pop owned a company in Georgia. Very nice company, good people. You'll enjoy doing business with them. Around 500 bucks. They are showing some in stock as of this filming. It will not come in looking like this. I've refinished this one, but this is all just window dressing. I refinished the stock. I slow rust blued all of the steel. It still shoots exactly the way it came in the box. Didn't have to make any modifications to it at all. So today we're going to load it up and try it again. So the first thing I want to point out here is how I'm carrying it. You see I've got it frizzen up and the hammer or the cock down. And that shows that there might be a powder charge and a ball in the barrel, but there's no powder in the pan. It ain't going to shoot. So this is kind of a safe condition to carry it in. It can't shoot if there's no powder in the flash pan. Now, somebody asked me one time, yeah, there might not be any powder in the pan, but couldn't it still strike sparks? And couldn't one of those sparks get through the touch hole into the powder? Yes, if you were to snap it enough times. I don't know how many millions of times it would take, because you see, the touch hole here is drilled at an angle this way. I can get my finger in the right position. It doesn't go straight in, it goes this way. And the sparks are going to be going this way. So when it shoots, all the sparks are going to come out this way, and the touch hole goes this way. So those sparks would have to hit something here in the way, bounce back, hit that little touch hole, and then go forward. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I wouldn't bet my money on it. So anyway, first thing that we're going to do is put some powder in the pan. Now, in the old days, the way they would load it would be to use a paper cartridge just for speed of reloading. Each soldier would have been issued a certain number of cartridges, and they'd bite the end off the cartridge, they'd pour a little powder in the pan, snap the frizzen down, pour the rest of the powder down the barrel, then the ball, then stuff the paper down, and it was loaded. My last video, I said I'm going to freeload. Yeah, the correct term is loose load. That's why I thought it was so funny. Loose load is that we just keep the powder and the ball wadding if we're going to use any separate, and we just do them one at a time. We put in the powder, then the ball, then the patch or whatever. So it's called loose loading. That's what I'm going to do, is loose load. So the first thing that I'm going to do on that, get this off. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about something else first, how to load it. There are basically 4 ways that this can be loaded. One is with buckshot. You put in your powder, you put in maybe a felt wad or paper wad or something, handful of buckshot, another wad. And that would be very effective in a battlefield condition because you're bound to hit somebody as tightly packed as everybody was. The other way is with what was called buck and ball, and that's where you'd take an undersized ball, like say a 54 caliber maybe, and some buckshot. And that was also common among both the British soldiers and the American colonials. And then the other way is to use a solid lead ball. Yeah, I said 4 ways, and that's 3. Well, there are 2 ways to load with a lead ball. You can use an undersized ball, like say a 0.58 inch with a patch, which I've done in this one, and it works very well. It's easy to load, it's accurate. Or you can use a 0.60 inch lead ball, no patch. This is 62 caliber. Now I prefer to use the 0.60 inch just because it's a 62 caliber. It's not a 58 or a 60. And I want to shoot as close to a 62 inch projectile as I can get down the barrel. And that's going to be a 0.60 inch ball. But there's a little bit of a problem with that. I also cast my own balls, and the quality control is not quite as good as I might get if I bought, say, a Hornady or something. And some of those things just drop right down the barrel. Some of them don't want to fit, and I have to kind of help them along. And on the one hand, I'm kind of hoping that it just drops down the barrel so I don't have to show you what I mean by help it along. And on the other hand, I kind of like to see it not fit so that I can show you what I mean by helping it along. But either way, we're going to find out because I'm going to load this one with a 0.60 inch lead ball. So first, we're going to put it on half cock, and forgive my injury recently. I'll survive. It's just annoying, getting old. All right, we're going to put a little powder in the flash pan. And I'll show you. I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see there's just some powder in the pan. Close the frizzen, blow on it, keeping the extra out. Now, you will notice, let me get back here again, that I am not using a powder measure. I'm pouring from the horn. That's how I do it. And no, I do not consider it unsafe. And no, I am not worried about blowing myself up. Okay, so there we go. I've used this powder horn enough to know that 1 second equals about 10 grains. So we're going to go 4.5, 5 seconds. But that's a little longer than a lot of people think. Really, a second when you're timing it is a long time. If you ask most people to count to 3 but in seconds, they'll count 1, 2, 3. Well, that's really only about 2 seconds. 3 seconds is really more like 1, 2, 3. About that slow. So I'm going to put between 4.5, 5 seconds worth of powder down the barrel. Okay, there we are. Now put my stopper back in. We'll toss that over to the side. Make sure the powder gets down the barrel. Now, 62 caliber ball, sprue side down. Let's see if it's going to fit. Yep, this time it fit. So, what do I do when it doesn't fit? I use a bigger ramrod and a little more muscle power until I get it down. Actually, the problem is right in here. I don't know if the barrel itself is constricted in here or if it's just a rough spot. You can't really tell by feeling it. Can't really tell, but right in here is generally where it will stick. Once I get past about halfway, it just drops on down. So this thing is loaded and ready to shoot. What are we going to shoot at, I wonder? Well, wouldn't you know, it looks like our old friend, the General Marquis de Malencon, has returned from the dead. Just one thing to do. So much for the General.